Hey guys, it's Laura and welcome, hopefully back. If not, thanks for joining us and I hope you stick around to Perfectly Imperfect, where I promise to continue to be nothing but vulnerable and authentic in order to share in my own struggles and potentially help somebody maybe out there. Again, I love your comments. I love your private messages. No one wants to be able to put their stuff all the way out there yet, and that's okay. I appreciate that. But today we're going to throw down a couple letters of the alphabet. We're going to go from an H to an F and we're going to drop them down, okay? But before we go there, I want to talk a little bit again about what shame is and what it is when we get in our cycles of shame. First off, just a reminder that shame is I am bad, not that I did something bad. It is the understanding or belief that we are not lovable. So, in the opportunity to be vulnerable, I had a shame cycle this week. I had a full-on big party of shame, sat in it, got comfy or not comfy, and really couldn't release it for a couple of days. Luckily, I have a lot of great people around me, and I have a lot of empathy that can be poured in, which is the only way to fight shame. But we're going to throw down the H word and the F word, which will be help and forgiveness. They're always there, and they're always going to be the way out of this situation. But first, let's talk about the three things that research has shown us of what we do when we're in shame cycle. This research was done by and included in some of Brene Brown's research, as well as other shame researchers around. And the idea is that we move away, we move towards, and then we get even. Okay? So the first one is we move away. If we're in that shame cycle, if we're in that thing, we just shut off. We isolate, we emotionally cut off from people. We don't want people to know, so we stop returning phone calls. We stop returning texts. We stop engaging in activities because that's the only way to protect ourselves from potential humiliation or really to even realize that it took place. This is a tricky one because this means that that cycle just continues because we never really heal that root. This is a lot of what I see in our families or dysfunctional families who have estranged members. They just don't go there, right? And so it's easier just to cut off and just not to respond. The second one is where I find myself, and that is to move towards. And that is when we decide, okay, I've done something, I'm in a shame cycle, I feel awful, and so instead of healing ourselves, we externally try to get that approval. We send more texts, we send more cards, we buy gifts, we smother almost people because we're still searching for that ability to approve of ourselves. We're still searching for, hey, I messed up, am I okay? Externally. And again, what it does is it pushes people away because they don't really know how to respond to that, right? I know that all too well. That has been a cycle for me for a long time. But the third one, and is probably the most dangerous one that I think I see on the society as a whole, really, in my practice every day, in relationships, in the news, and that is we fight shame with shame. You shamed me, or I feel shame. Therefore, I can't be the only one on this shame bus. So I'm going to invite you in, or I'm going to tell you you're coming in. I see this so much with parenting. I see this so much with corporate America. Nobody can be a wimp. Nobody cannot achieve. And so we fight others instead of with kindness and firmness, with shame. Now, what's tricky about every single one of these things is that it continues this cycle of shame. It makes us feel like we're on this giant hamster wheel where we can't get out of it, which then only increases our ability or the probability of us doing the same thing over and over. This is where addiction comes in. This is where numbing comes in. This is where destruction of relationships come in because we can't get off the wheel. Luckily, there is some ways, and I did both of them this week, and I think we need to, by throwing down the letter H for help, we need to first realize, okay, we're in this, and we need to reach out for help and not be ashamed of that. There are hopefully people around you that really get you, that really love you, And despite your behaviors or despite the hurt, get that the root of you is not those things. If you don't have someone like that in your life, I encourage you to really just take a moment and really just write down, who are the top 3 people that I can be truly me with? And who are those people that truly get me? And not just get me and then say, okay, but get me and move towards you, right? I have been really privileged to have those people in my life. And this week I had an amazing experience with my family and with my sister, and asking for that help has been really encouraging. The second one, throw down the F word, and that is forgiveness. And when we are truly present with ourselves, this Buddhist nun that I've been following, Pema Sharad, and I probably butchered her name, but the idea is just that one moment of being present with yourself, not moving forward, but just sitting with yourself in that shame and really saying, I'm actually okay. What happened was not my finest moment, but I can be okay. So I want you to maybe get still, get with a pad of paper, get with your pen, and write down the 3 ways of shame and see which one you are. Do you move away? Do you move towards? Or do you fight shame with shame? And the last thing too is to see, who can you ask for help in those moments? Who is going to stand by you? And then putting some F words on it, putting forgiveness of yourself, forgiveness of others, and allowing that shame cycle to stop, getting off the hamster wheel and taking a moment to breathe. So those are my tips for the shame cycle this week. I am excited to announce that I was able to get off of it, but not by a lot of work. So I hope you have a wonderful week. Enjoy a day off if you have it. If not, have a blessed week. Bye.